everybody, this is Laura, City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. Today I have a layout chair for you. I have been creating my layouts for quite a while and then stacking them and thinking I would like to create a video in which I share all of my layouts with you. But I waited way too long to do that, and now I have a really high or tall pile of layouts to show you. So I am splitting this pile into several smaller piles, and I'm going to have several videos in which I share my layouts with you. I have process videos for all of the layouts that I'm going to show you. These are all from various collaborations and various hops that I have been fortunate enough to participate in. This layout I made for Pink Fresh Fridays, and I really enjoyed creating this. I just haven't had the opportunity to participate in that hop since I made this layout. I love Pink Fresh Studio, and I really, like I said, really liked making this layout, so it's something that I would like to do again in the future. This layout is called Splendid Day. I used a collection, I believe, called Just a Little Lovely, and then I used some dies from Pink Fresh Studio. I used a piece of black cardstock in the background with some splatters. I used these beautiful Pink Fresh Studio jewels, and like I said, I had fun creating this one. These next layouts are going to be from A Punched Out Thursday to Die For. It's a collaboration that I've been a part of for a little while now, and I'm very honored to be part of this collaboration. I have created quite a few layouts because it's a weekly collaboration. So I'm going to start by showing you this one, Sweet Boy. This is my little boy Jackson. He is such a sweetheart. So I use the Storyteller collection from Vicki Boutin to create this. I have a lot of mixed media in the background, some stamping, some splatters, some sprays, some modeling paste, and then I used some dies to create. I created this with the dies, I created some of the tags with the dies, and then I used a punch to create the film strip. This is also for A Punched Out Thursday to Die For. I used a mixture of things for this layout. I didn't use any one collection, but I went to my collection, my personal collection of baking themed products, and I pulled out a few things that I thought went well with this topic. My older daughter loves to bake. She's pretty good at it, I think. And my younger daughter actually likes to bake every now and then too. And they were just obsessed with these French macarons. I hope I'm saying that right. So I created a layout to remember that by. This layout, it's called Love Chihuly, and Chihuly is a sculptor and makes these absolutely gorgeous glass sculptures. They had a huge exhibition at the New York Botanical Gardens a few years ago, and I took tons of pictures, and I found it a little hard to find a collection that would go with this yellowish, kind of greenish photo that I took, or several of the photos, and I found that this Simple Stories collection, I believe it's called Simple Vintage Lemon Twist. I thought it went really well with this photo. So I used a number of dies, and then I did a lot of mixed media in the background, some stamping and some stencil work. I really like the idea of including the punchinella on the background, and again, had a good time making this layout. Here's another layout that I created for A Punched Out Thursday to Die For. This was made using a recollections pad called Key West. This was kind of a simple layout. I just used a very busy background paper and then put a not so busy piece of yellow paper on top of it. And then I created a number of clusters that was all fussy cut out. I used a couple of dies, and then I mounted my photo on some pattern paper. This is called Garden Flowers. I used an Elizabeth Craft Designs die to make this title, and this is another photo of that Chihuly exhibit. This layout is called Find the Joy. It's a photo of my older daughter and me, This was made using a My Mind's Eye collection or two. I know that one of them was Find Your Wings and Fly, I think it was called, and I don't remember what the other one was called, but in any case, I made this also for a Punched Out Thursday to Die For, so of course I have a lot of dies and border punches on this page. This is one of those pages where the background page is so pretty, it does most of the work for you. And I had a lot of the chipboard for this collection, so I added that on there as well in a couple of spots. This layout was also created for a Punched Out Thursday to Die For, and I again used the Vicki Boutin Storyteller collection to make this. This is a photo of my older daughter and two of my nieces. I used this very large triangle repeated 3 times. I did some mixed media in the background, just a few sprays and stamps and some splatters as well. And I called it Three's Company. Some of you might remember that show. Probably not everybody. This layout was also created for a Punched Out Thursday to Die For. I use a 49 and Market collection for this layout. It's called Together. I used a Elizabeth Crafts Designs die sorry, to make this title as well. And then I used, of course, for Punched Out Thursday to Die For, a number of dies and a number of punches. This layout, Mary, was made with a really old collection by Brenda Walton called Peppermint Twist. And I remember I made this when I was away at a crop, and I had just gotten this die set. I think it's a Spellbinders die, and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to put a lot of these on my layouts, so I decided to make a tree and then layer these on top of the tree, and of course using lots of border punches to make the tree. Again, Punched Out Thursday to Die For. Again, I used an Elizabeth Craft Designs die to make the title, and I used a Blue Fern Studio collection called Christmas Cheer. And this is a photo of my younger daughter on Christmas Eve. And I had a lot of fun making this background. I kind of had this idea in my mind for a while, so I was excited to actually get it onto a layout. Here's another Punched Out Thursday to Die For layout. And again, I used that Blue Fern Studios collection Christmas Cheer. I had first gotten this collection in a My Creative Scrapbook kit, and I absolutely loved it. So of course I had to buy more. I tend to gravitate towards certain Christmas collections and use them over and over again. And this is that same concept with the diamond shape, and then I put the pearls in between, or where each of the diamonds meet each other. Again, Punched Out Thursday to Die For, and this was created with a K & Company collection from a really long time ago. And you can see I used lots and lots of punches, border punches on this page, and then some of those dimensional flowers. I think these are petaloo flowers, and then this beautiful frame. I can't remember the manufacturer of that die, but I absolutely love this frame, and a photo of both of my daughters. This layout was made for a hop called Dog Days of Summer, and it is my 3 dogs, and they're all sitting on the same chair. There's a chair right by the window in my house. My dogs are constantly looking out the window. Jackson is the dog that can most often be seen sitting on the chair and peering out the window. The other 2 dogs go up there as well. So for this layout, I use a die cuts with a View dog themed collection, even though it really doesn't look like it. There's really nothing that's overtly dog themed in the papers, but some of the embellishments, I don't know if those were from the same collection, but they definitely match together. And I use some mixed media in the background, some sprays, some stamps, and some splatters. This layout was made for Rebecca Moore's 1500 subscriber hop, and I used, again, a Brenda Walton collection. There's a little bit of adhesive on that layout. A Brenda Walton collection Peppermint Twist that I used on another layout that I showed you. I have just a little bit of mixed media in the background, lots of layering, and of course I scrap lifted Rebecca, so that's where I got the idea for the composition of this layout. This layout I made for my own 1,000 subscriber hop, and I use a Simple Stories collection called Simple Vintage Coastal, I believe. And I absolutely love making summer layouts. This layout was made with a photo that was taken in Cape Cod quite a while ago with my daughters. I love layering the flowers on top of the big banner, and I just really enjoyed making this layout. Love those summer layouts. This layout was made for Scrappy Adams' 500 subscriber hop, and I used a Bow Bunny collection from quite a while ago, a fall themed collection. And again, I scrap lifted one of his layouts, so that's where I got the idea for the composition. And I just used some mixed media in the background and a lot of fall colors. This layout was made for Ronnie Sue Scrappers, I think her 2,000 subscriber hop, and I was scrap lifting one of her beautiful layouts. I got the idea of using this mixed media background from her, and then I used a border punch and used some enamel dots that went along with the colors in the background. And then I have some clusters made of lots of Halloween themed items and some flowers that went along with the Halloween color scheme. I have started to mark the backs of my layouts. I'll show you on this last layout with labels that let me know what hop or what the reason is that I created the layout, what the inspiration was, and then some of the materials that I use. But I started to do that relatively recently, so I don't know what I created this layout for. I don't know if I have a process video for it or not. I'm not sure what the inspiration was, but in any case, I really love this photo. It's a photo of both of my daughters, and they were looking through a neon ice cream cone, and I just love the way they both came in the picture. I just thought that it was really cool. So I just, like in the, 1990s style, I just cut out the photo, and then I just added some pre-made rosettes, and then I used these letters that I really love, these pink letters. I got these at a discount store quite a while ago, but I always really liked them, so I was happy to get a chance to use them. I have some splatters in the background. And this is one more layout that I did not put that label on. I think it might have been for Mixed Media Frenzy, but I'm not 100% sure. I used a really old K & Company collection, and this was really kind of an experiment. I was using a lot of mixed media on the background. I used all kinds of things like drywall tape, and I just really wanted to see how it would come out. So it's a little bit loaded with product, but I had fun making it. And this is a photo of both of my daughters when we were on a ferry coming from Martha's Vineyard. This layout was made for a hop called Mixed Media Frenzy. It's another one I haven't had a chance to take part in recently, but I really love the challenges that they had each month. They post a layout and you could use it for inspiration, and I use a couple of different pattern papers to make this layout of my daughter Julia on Halloween, and I used some embossing and some sprays and splatters and also some stamping right over here, and then the rest is pattern paper with some chipboard stars. This was also created for Mixed Media Frenzy. I used a lot of the Lindy's Magicals in the background, and then I used a leaf stamp and some embossing powder and then some sprays. And you could see there is no pattern paper on this layout. The next few layouts I created using cut files from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I think this was last year. Virginia Walker was having a hop in which we could create either Christmas or summer layouts because, of course, in half of the world, when it's Christmas time, it's also summertime, something I don't often think about, but I absolutely love Christmas and I absolutely love summer and I really like cut files, so I thought that would be really fun to take part in it. This is the first layout that I created. This is using an older Simple Stories summer collection. I used some embossing folders and this beautiful cut file, some banners, and I used a American Crafts knockout punch to make that border. This layout was also made for that same challenge, and I used this Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file. I punched out a whole bunch of waves down here. I'm using a collection from Little Yellow Bicycle called Splash. I absolutely love that collection. I wish I could get a whole bunch more of it. I really, really like it, and I think it's just a fun collection. I love the colors. And this is part of that same hop, and I used a basic gray collection, another really old collection, and then I just used a whole lot of bling. I just kind of went crazy with the bling. I really like it a lot, and I added some of the chipboard from that collection as well. Okay, and then this layout again. Whoops, I see one of my jewels is coming loose. Oops, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of repair work right there. But in any case, this one is called Summer is a State of Mind, and I used, again, the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file. Ooh, look down here, another jewel coming loose. I will have to get out some glue and fix those jewels, and then I'll put a little bit extra on these since they don't seem to be sticking down too well. But I used a lot of coral dyes. I used, I think this was a Bo Bunny 6x6 inch paper pad. I used some stencil work in the background and some sprays as well, plus a whole bunch of these jewels. For this layout, I used the Crate Paper, I think it's called Peppermint collection, and I again put some sprays in the background, and I use a lot of pearls to cover the 3 large stars that are in this cut file. And then I included Santa's glasses. I've had that in my stash forever. I was really happy to find a place to put them. And these are photos of my older daughter on Christmas Eve. This was made using the Bo Bunny Christmas in the Village collection, along with one of the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files. I used some mixed media in the background, along with some pine and holly punches. I used a recent Simple Stories collection, or I shouldn't say collection. I just had these titles, and I thought that they went really well with the rest of the layout. This layout was made using the Bo Bunny Boardwalk collection, another one of my absolute favorite collections. I really love it. I used it in conjunction with some mixed media in the background, and I just love this sun cut file. I added a cloud or two to the layout as well. This was a kind of a simple layout, but I think that the cut file just really makes it. This is another layout made with that Little Yellow Bicycle collection Splash. I absolutely love this cut file. I had seen people working with this cut file, and I was really excited when I had a chance to work with it. I absolutely love it. This layout is called Jawsome. We go to Martha's Vineyard and to Cape Cod all the time, and my husband just loves the movie Jaws. He has seen it more times than I think that even he can count. So we like to do shark-related things when we're there. And then this was in a store, and we just thought this was super cute. This layout tradition, this was made using a Basic Gray collection, 25th and Pine. And the reason that I use these older collections is because I absolutely love them. I have lots of newer papers, but when I'm thinking about making a layout that I'll really be proud of, I often go to those collections that I am familiar with and that I absolutely love. Not that I don't love some of the new collections, but I really, really love some of the collections that I've shown you today. So this is just an adorable cut file of a gingerbread house. I did some stitching on it. I used some of these acetate snowflakes and punch along the bottom, and this is a photo of my daughter Danielle working on her Cinderella gingerbread house. This layout is called Relax in the Sun, and for this layout I used a whole bunch of different things. I used some embossing folders to back some of the cut files. I used some pearls in order to make the rainbows a little bit more shiny and interesting. This is one of those soft-spoken sticker sets. I just used the title from that. Some of those buttons, the wooden buttons with the epoxy in the center, and then a couple of pearls. That's about it, but I think again, the cut file, it really made this layout a lot of fun. This layout is called Ocean Vibes. I used another one of my absolute favorite collections. It's a Bo Bunny collection called Boardwalk. I did some stitching on the page. I backed the cut file using the papers from that collection. I layered up some of these papers to make waves, added a lot of jewels. And I just think that the collection and the cut file together are just a good combination. And I just, like I said, love these summer layouts. Another photo of my daughters on the boat on the way back from Martha's Vineyard. I made this layout using, again, the Brenda Walton collection called Peppermint Twist, which I absolutely love. I use a die and some die-cut poinsettias. And then this is from a Simple Stories collection. I don't have the collection, or I didn't have the collection at the time. I just had these titles, and I thought that they were fantastic. Actually, I think I bought these at the crop, so I didn't have anything to match with them, but I think that they matched really well with this collection. And this was a really fun one to create. Stretch the Sketch is a hop that I participate in every month. And in that hop, we take a 12 by 12 inch sketch and we either expand it and make it maybe like a 2-page layout, or we shrink it and make it on a smaller scale. So I used the sketch and I needed to create one more layout for this album. I used these smaller pages to do my journaling. So you could see on the other side, this is some of the journaling for that vacation, but I didn't have anything to go on the other side. So I decided to just use a postcard. And then in the center, I have a whole bunch of the ephemera and, you know, the flyers and brochures and other things, receipts and things like that that I wanted to save from the trip. So that's why I created that, and that's why there's no photo on it. The album was basically done. I just had to complete it. And then I hope I can fit this here. It's not fitting perfectly, but hopefully you can get the idea. This is a 2-page spread that I made using a Basic Gray collection. And again, this was made for Stretch the Sketch, where I took the sketch and I made it into a 2-page layout. In my family, we have started, I would say we probably started about 6-7 years ago, Secret Santa, where we all pick a name out of a hat and we buy each other a surprise little gag gift, and we really enjoy doing that. So this is a compilation of photos of Secret Santa. This is another 2-page spread. I also made this for Stretch the Sketch. This layout has what I think are some pretty cool photos. When we went to Salem, Massachusetts, we went to the museum that they have there that's right on the main strip. There was this really cool room where they had this box and it was lit from the inside and the whole room was filled with these patterns. I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to include it in our Salem album. And so I used a number of different pattern papers and embellishments. And then I guess the star of this page, other than the photos, is the bats on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, and then there's one up by the title as well. So that's it for this layout chair. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoy watching layout chairs, so I thought that I would make one for you of my layouts. I will be back again soon with another one. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.